Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Boy, is it good to be back on a beautiful Thursday episode, man. It's good to see you guys. Good to be back here. We got the book for you, of course. We're going to be doing chapters 11 and 12. So, super excited about that. I know you guys are as well. We're going to hop right into our interesting thread, though. This thread is drug users. What was your worst experience while high? All right. Let's see what you guys' worst experience was. I know what my worst experience was. I'll go ahead and share mine before we get into you guys'. Mine was, I was at work one day and my buddy was like, "Hey man, do you want to try wax?" And I was like, I've never tried wax before. Like, why not? And he's like, "Yeah, bro, it's just like pure THC, you know what I mean?" I'm like, "All right, for sure. Let's see what's up." I swear to God, man, I was so out of it. I thought I was in another universe. I thought I was just like, I was flipping the fuck out. I won't lie to you, man. The world was like upside down and I was seeing shit that wasn't there. And then I get back to work and it's crazy because obviously I was on my lunch break at this time. So I'm like, fuck, I got to go back to work. And so like my anxiety was through the roof, bro. Through the roof, because the whole time I'm like, do they know I'm high? Do they know I'm high? Do they think I'm high? Doesn't seem like it. I'm trying to act completely normal. And like customers are like speaking in slow motion. They're just like, "Can I get this, please?" And I'm like, yeah. It's that, right? Right? Yes. Can you not see? It was bad, bro. It was bad. And then it got to such a point where I'm like, my anxiety was so high, I was like throwing up. I went to the back. I was throwing up in a trash can. And, I was dry heaving for a little bit. And then I threw something up a little bit. And I was just like, I got to go home, bro. I got to go home. I was like, I told my boss, I was like, bro, I got to go home. I was like, I'm freaking the fuck out. I got to go home. And they're just like, "What's wrong? Like, you okay? Is everything fine?" And I'm like, I just got to go home. And so they let me go home. And literally the entire time I'm driving home, mind you, I'm driving home just blasted high, bro. I'm driving home and I'm like up on the steering wheel. And I'm driving slow, but I'm not really driving too slow. I'm driving maybe like at least 10, 15 miles under the speed limit, bro. I swear to God. I was like, I just got to get home. Just got to get home. Just got to get home. People were honking at me. Oh, it was bad, bro. And then I finally got home, went to bed, woke up. I woke up and my mouth was just dry as fuck. I downed a whole bunch of water. And I was just like, oh my God, and never again, bro. I was not ready. I was not ready for that shit. I just wasn't. And that was my worst, experience getting high, man. So let's see you guys'. All right. Did LSD and some bong hits. Then went to a club on Halloween. It was fancy dress. Spent the night cowering under a table surrounded by vampires, witches, and monsters having a night out. Totally lost a grip on reality. Interesting night. Hey, now look, I didn't do LSD. That's a little crazy, but I can see how going to a Halloween party would freak you the fuck out because you would think that they're real. You'd be like, holy shit. Because I won't lie to you, like, after I had, like, came down from my high, I will not lie to you, I was in this, like, thought process of, yo, was what I was seeing real? And is it one of those things where like the way I see it, the world now, is that not real? Is that not true? Because, you see all these movies come out. You got Neo and the blue pill, red pill thing. You got fucking Inception that came out like literally I think a year before that, And for me, I was just like, bro, is what I was seeing, is what I was experiencing, like the real world. Like, this is not the real world. It's like yeah, this is physical, but like, is this real? It was so trippy. I guarantee you this person had the same exact thought. Once they came down from their high, they were just like, are vampires actually a real thing? Are werewolves actually a real thing? Like, am I just imagining this, or is this actually a problem? You know, I'm telling you, bro. Hey, that's all bad. That is all bad. All right, drug users. What was the worst experience getting high? Halloween night, my junior year of high school in 1997. Me and a group of friends were in a costume wandering around the downtown area of our small town, a bit of a trick-or-treating, and had just left a house party. We had gotten a hold of some very potent LSD. Y'all niggas are crazy, bro. What the fuck, man? Y'all be doing some wild shit. And we're tripping our fucking heads off while waiting at a train crossing. The train tracks directly through the middle of town. We witnessed a drunk guy wearing a cowboy costume tried to beat the train. He was on the other side of the tracks trying to cross to our side. He tripped and fell right in front of the train, directly in front of where we were waiting. It couldn't have been more than 15 feet away. The train struck him in the head, or struck him head on, and literally blew his body apart. Yo. Oh my God. The area was well illuminated, and several of us watched it happen. It was terrifying. The train stopped, but because they're so heavy, it takes a long time, and the end cars were several hundred of feet down the tracks from us. There was blood and body parts all over the place. The police arrived very quickly and started asking people if they'd witnessed it. We were all standing in a group right where we'd been, afraid to go anywhere. Several of the girls in the group were hysterical. The cops started questioning us separately. I have a very specific memory of the officer shining his flashlight towards the train tracks and illuminating the guy's severed leg. There was a boot and a pant leg with a belt and buckle still attached, and the top was blood-soaked denim and flesh and muscle. The bone sticking out of the top right toward us. I remember how white and round the hip bone looked, and with the traces of blood on the bone, it looked like a baseball. I remember thinking it looked like a baseball. The officer was speaking to me the officer that was speaking to me was a very friendly sergeant, and it didn't take him long to realize that we were all very high and fucked up. He was very compassionate about our situation and decided instead of getting us in trouble, he just wanted us to get somewhere safe. Yo, bro. And I guarantee you something like that, he has never been able to not remember it as vividly as he did. I ain't gonna lie to you, if I saw some shit like that, yeah, I'd probably be able to recall it extremely well too. Because that's crazy. You know what I mean? You're just tripping balls with your friends. Just, oh, shit. Oh, look at that cowboy over there. Yo. Hey, I think he's trying to get to us, man. And then dude just trips. He's like, oh, shit. Hey, cowboy, bro, get up. Get up. What are you doing, man? Dude is just stumbling to get up and then just boom, bro. It's just, bro, it's just gone. Just gone. Bro's a mist. He's just a mist of blood at that point. Wow, bro. Woo! Shit. Shit, bro. Damn. That's insane. That is absolutely insane, man. Insane. And I bet the officer was just like, what the fuck is going on here? And I think that's why he was sympathetic to you guys, because he was just like, you guys are tripping balls, and then you see some shit like this, like there ain't no way you guys aren't scarred for life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to do any more scarring, for life. You guys will probably never do a drug ever again because of some shit like this. I'm being dead serious. I know me personally, I would be like, yeah, no, I'm never doing LSD ever again, or any drug at that fact. Seeing somebody just blow up right in front of you, bro, nah. Nah, and then knowing this guy was probably on something, you know what I mean? Because that's how he fell and tripped on the tracks. And then, he was stumbling while getting up, led to him not being able to get out of the way in time and blowing up. Like, nah, bro. Yeah, like I said, I would never do a drug ever again. I'd be like, nope, I'm good. I never need to see anything else again. That would scar me just enough. Damn, man. All right, drug users, what was the worst experience while high? I buried my phone in the garden because I thought the flower will grow from it, bro. What? Oh, my God. And yes, they did say they were on LSD. Like, bro. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, what? Y'all are crazy, man. Is LSD just like the newest shit going on, man? Let me know, because I ain't gonna lie to you. Out here in California, the cocaine, that is everywhere, bro. It's like weed got legal, right? And everybody was just like, oh man, weed is boring now because it's legal. So since it's legal, it's boring. We want something like more exciting, because it's illegal. That's what I'm thinking it is, because I'm like, bro, weed is legal. There's no reason to do any other drug. I think the reason why they legalized weed is so you had no reason to do anything else. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you can get a good enough high. You can be chilling. You're all fine. Weed is legal, bro. You're chilling. But for some reason, I think people were just like, nah, fam. Nah, the illegal factor of it was half the fun. And you took away half the fun. So since you took away half the fun, you know what I mean? I want to go ahead and get into something that gives me the other 50% fun, I guess. I don't know. To me, it just seems crazy because I'm just like, dude. What's the fuck? But at the same time, I get it. You know what I mean? The cocaine has been, a thing since the 80s. So, I guess. But Jesus. Because I ain't going to lie to you. A lot of the guys that I work with, woo, a lot of them do it. A lot of them do it, bro. And it's crazy. And it's crazy because it's the guys and the girls. Like I remember there was a girl that I worked with. And I didn't know that she did that stuff. You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't have noticed. She's like very sweet girl. She's just very cool to talk to. She comes to work every day. You wouldn't even notice. And then we noticed it when like she was starting to have really bad like mood swings, and we thought, okay, maybe she's on her period or maybe she's got something going on or whatever the case may be. And so then later on we found out that she's like, oh yeah, I was having withdrawals, and so it was fucking up my mood and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah, bro, it's all bad, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay, drug users, what is your worst experience while high? I have an unfortunately long storied career with substance abuse, and I'm thankfully 4 years clean and sober now. Hey, congratulations, fam. The worst experience ever, though, was a big dose of Gravol. I don't know what that is. Gravol. Maybe you guys know it down in the comments. You guys can let me know. Gravol. Let me know what that is. I've never heard of that a day in my life. I've been told there's a sweet spot when abusing it for a high. However, I did not find said sweet spot. Probably some of the most convincing and hellish hallucinations I've ever had. At one point, I thought I was covered in bugs. I eventually ended up squatting in a corner of my house with a hammer because I was convinced a gang of marauders was actively trying to kick down my door. On several occasions, I would look down my hallway and see a small ghost child running towards me. Okay. Then for hours, all I could hear was the theme song to The Big Bang Theory playing on repeat in crisp detail in my head. Yo, I gotta look this up, bro. What kind of menagerie were you on, bro? What the fuck? That is insane. What is this? So apparently, Gravol is an over-the-counter medication containing hydronate, used to prevent and treat nausea, vomiting, dizziness, and motion sickness. It functions as an antihistamine and is widely known as Dramamine in the night. Okay, I've heard of Dramamine before. Okay, so I think Gravol is like its old name or its old term, or maybe they're from like the UK or something like that. Okay, that makes sense. Wow. Okay. So, I don't know if, I mean, I guess because it is, it's an antihistamine. I think that's probably the reason why you can, like have hallucinations. That's insanity though. Wow. Okay. All right. So yeah, this nigga was just hopped up on Dramamine. This nigga was hopped up on Dramamine. He was just freaking the fuck out, bro. Like, god damn, man. That it's crazy that he said he saw a ghost girl. Like, bro, hold up, fam. Because my thing is look, if I were to see something like that, I would be so convinced. Like, yeah, ghosts are real. You know what I mean? Ghosts and demons and, poltergeists and all that, they're real. All that shit is just real. And it's like, you can't tell me otherwise. I've seen it. It's like that motherfucker that's like gotten abducted by aliens. You know what I mean? And they're just like, nah, man, I know it. But maybe they had to be too high to experience or something. I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. Sheesh, that's crazy. That would be probably the worst part of it for me. Like hearing the Big Bang Theory theme, you probably had the TV on and that, you know what I mean? Yeah, and your senses were heightened and everything, and you probably were hearing it. As far as the gang of marauders, I don't know what the fuck was all that about, bro. It was probably the pizza man. He was just like, hey, bro, your pizza, man. And he's just like, no, you're trying to kill me. Like, you fucking never know, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I guarantee it's probably something like that. But but nothing, and I don't think nothing can explain you seeing the ghost girl, bruh. And then on top of that, she's running at you. So it's not like he saw, how like on those videos and stuff, you'll see them like they'll walk from like one side of the wall to the other, and you can just see them, walk past the hallway. And then when they run to the hallway and they look around the corner, they're disappeared. Or, they like peek their head around the corner, and then once you go around the corner, they're gone or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that shit's kind of like weirdly, but this one was running at you, so it's like, bro, there's no, like, come on, man, damn, son, damn. All right, we're gonna do two more, and then we'll get into you guys' book. Drug users, what was your worst experience while high? Took a bunch of triple C's in high school. Couldn't piss for hours despite my whole body hurting because I had to pee badly. When I was finally able to piss for like 5 minutes straight, it was super uncomfortable and painful. What the fuck is a triple C, bro? And why did you take them? I guess we are Googling. See, this shows you how I guess you'd say goody two shoes I am, I guess. I don't know. Because like I said, dude, for me, I guess I would say triple C, I don't know, drug. Okay, so triple C is slang term for corticidin, HBC, cough and cold. An over-the-counter medication that is sometimes misused for purposes of achieving psychoactive effects when taking in quantities that significantly exceed the recommended medical dosage. The active ingredients can lead to dangerous physical and psychological states. Wow. Bruh. What the fuck, man? Y'all niggas are crazy. Okay, so apparently it's just like, it's cough medicine. So he got high on cough medicine. Okay. Yeah. All right. Look, like I said, I don't know this shit. Like I was too busy, I guess, doing shit. You know what I mean? For me personally, I've never really dabbled in like hardcore drugs. Like I've done microdosing with shrooms one time. I have done like, I guess you'd say acid. It was more of just like it was dissolved into a drink and then I drank it. I was at a rave and I drank it. I was flipping. That was a good high though, because all the lights and shit and everything, like, looked super bright and cool. And then if you guys have ever been to a rave, their stage sets look really cool. I remember the stage set where it was like this nature theme, and he had like this big giant deer head, and like the eyes lit up and stuff like that, and then like the fire would shoot out of the mouth and stuff like it was cool as fuck. I was high as shit looking at that thing. I was like, oh my god, yo. But again, I've only ever done these things once. I've never really like done it multiple times or done it enough to where it was crazy. Obviously, the only like horrible experience I've ever had while high was doing the wax. But it's just like, bruh. I'm not too big with the hallucinogenic ones. Those to me, I'm like, nah. Like, if I think about getting high, I want some shit that's gonna mellow me the fuck out. I want some shit that's gonna just have me slump on the couch, eating 3 whole family-sized bags of Doritos. Like, that is my idea of high, bro. Y'all niggas' idea of high is crazy. I don't know how y'all be doing that, be comfortable with that. You guys are better than I ain't gonna lie to you, man. God damn. All right, I'm gonna do one more and then we're gonna get into our book. All right. Drug users. What is your worst experience while high? Probably that time I died.
What did he say?
1 minute sitting on the couch, then I blinked and suddenly on my back, surrounded by paramedics. Chest felt like it had caved in. Glanced in the mirror on my way out, and seeing gray skin / blue lips was like looking at my own corpse. That's the type of image that never leaves your memory. What the fuck? So you're telling me this dude died and was resuscitated back to life? Holy shit. I wonder, I'd love to talk to this dude. I wonder, in the moments between when you closed your eyes to when you woke up, did you see anything? You know what I mean? Because we always talk about, what happens after death and, what do you see? Is it just black? Is it just, like what kind of goes on? And maybe, you could argue, his soul hasn't left his body or something like that. Sure. But, and that's why, he only saw black for a brief moment and then he came back. But I don't know, man. Like, what if he did see some shit? That'd be crazy work. Like, what if he did see some stuff? What if he did see the proverbial, like, light, as they always say, like, they're like, oh, don't walk towards the light. I wonder if he saw the light. I wonder if, he saw somebody, like a family member or something like that, like a family member that had already died. Like, I would love to talk to this dude and be like, dude, what did you see? If anything, did you see anything? You know what I mean? I'm telling you, that would be a really, really fucking good conversation. I will not lie to you. That'd be a good fucking conversation. I really want to know what that motherfucker saw, because, man, to be able to say, like, yeah, I died and came back to life is wild, man. Is wild. All right. Well, that's going to be today's thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the thread. If you have a time where you ever got high and it was just a crazy, wild experience, let your boy know down in the comments, all right? I'd love to hear it. We're going to hop to announcements and get right on into you guys' book. So, youtube.com/membership. All right. We have our YouTube membership. We are moving on from Patreon and we're moving to the membership. Okay. So, If you have a Patreon subscription, make sure that you move or you cancel your subscription over there. Move on over to the YouTube membership. We're going to kind of be migrating on over there, okay? And if you guys want to stay on Patreon, I'll continue to upload over there if you guys want. But again, it's just like I'm going to be a lot more active in the YouTube membership than I will with the Patreon. Okay, so get on down there. The YouTube membership is going to have 2 tiers. All right, so tier 1 will pretty much get you the Patreon experience, where you'll get the monthly exclusive episodes, and that's that. You know what I mean? But if you want to join tier 2, our ultra supporter tier, if you guys want to join tier 2, tier 2 is going to go ahead and get you behind the scenes access videos. It's going to get you early access to the Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday shows, so you'll be able to see this show as early as Monday. So, or as early as Monday, Tuesday. You'll be able to get the episode as early as Monday or Tuesday. So, you know, if you guys really love the book episode and you guys really want to get the episodes early and you're just itching for it, definitely join that. All right. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you for downloading the episodes, coming out every single week and hanging out with your boy. Keep downloading the episodes, rating us 5 stars on your preferred platform. We appreciate it so much. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, man. I'll be cooking on Twitter. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be posting some funny shit over there, man. We be talking about all kinds of stuff over there. So follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and we appreciate it. Everything will be linked down in the description for you guys. And yeah, man, I really appreciate all the support you've been showing. And without further ado, we're gonna get you guys right on into your book. All right. So this is gonna be chapters 11 and 12. All right. So here we go. We're gonna move you on over.
11. Violet. Please, Vi. I release a long exhale at Dahlia's pleading voice on the other end of the phone as I walk home from class. It's about 40 minutes on foot, but I don't mind. This is the only workout I get, and walking helps clear my head. Don't try to be adorable, doll. But tomorrow is the only day you don't have an early shift. I just want us to have some fun at the movies and then go to your favorite kebab place. Or we can watch something at home and I cook. I'd rather you spend that money on your expenses. Boo! Just because we don't have much to spare doesn't mean we shouldn't have fun once in a while. She releases a sigh. I know you've been stressed by work lately. I'm also exhausted, so I want to cheer us up a little. Fine, but can you pick a family-friendly movie? I promised Laura I'd babysit Carly tomorrow. She's struggling with her daycare and is scared of her ex suing for custody. Do you mind if we have her around more often? Not at all. She's a cutie. Thanks, doll. I'll pay for myself and Carly. Don't be silly. I'll buy the tickets. I've got to go. My break is over. See ya. She hangs up before I can insist on paying. Shaking my head, I slide my phone into my back pocket as I juggle 2 of my human sciences books in one hand. Classes are kind of kicking my ass, mostly because I don't have much of an attention span, but I'll be able to keep my scholarship if I improve my GPA. In my peripheral vision, I catch a glimpse of Mario, and for the 1,000th time in the last couple of days, I consider talking to him, or falling in step to walk beside him. But something tells me he wouldn't like that. A couple of days ago, after I gave him his usual drink at Haven, I asked how he was, but he just looked at me with that detached expression and ignored me. And I didn't push because, well, I'm pretty sure I caught the glint of a gun beneath his jacket. Guess he's not interested in talking to the person he's pseudo-stalking. Shocker. The actual stalker, however, was nowhere to be seen, having delegated the entirety of his work to Mario. There were no notes left in my journal, nor was there a motorcycle in front of Haven. Jude just disappeared. Not entirely, since Mario is literally tailing me right now, but Jude's physically not there, which is a relief, even if it's only been a week. Ever since he forced me to watch a cold-blooded murder, splashed me with a stranger's blood, then promised to fuck me if I didn't get my shit together, I'm glad I don't have to look at him. I mean, yes, I told him to fuck me, but really, I was just in a post-panic attack adrenaline high and kind of just talked nonsense to escape. Because he's right. Jude looks like the type who fucks like he speaks, in angry spurts of violence that I definitely couldn't handle. Hell, I think I was in some sort of a daze when he thrust his finger in my mouth and kind of made me suck it. A bloody finger, with the blood of a man he just killed. The fact that I only thought of that after I left should be a bright red flag, because I don't find dangerous men attractive at all. I've met enough of them to know they're the scum of the earth. Jude Callahan's stoic face, rigid personality, and weapon of a body shouldn't be at the forefront of my mind. The afternoon air is cool against my skin, the hum of traffic merging with the rhythm of my footsteps against the cracked sidewalk. The streetlights' shadows cast long figures in the afternoon sun that stretch and curl like grasping hands as I walk past them, my mind focused on what I'm going to cook for dinner. I have several hours before my shift, so maybe I'll make Dahlia lasagna. She always says it's my signature dish, and usually finishes a few servings in one night. I balance the weight of my backpack slung over one shoulder. I have to find fresh meat, even if it's a small quantity, and the roar of an engine splits the quiet. I barely register it when a black van speeds toward the sidewalk. No, it's rushing toward me. It surges forward, tires screeching against the asphalt, coming fast. Too fast. I'm frozen in place, waiting for the death I've often spoken to before bed. In a blur of motion, something lunges toward me. Mario, slamming into my side, hard. I hit the ground, out of the van's path. Hot, burning pain lances through me as my knees scrape against concrete, my breath shattering in my lungs. And I watch with my mouth agape as Mario spins, reaching for his gun. Another roar cuts through the traffic, this time from the opposite direction. The van does a U-turn in the distance as a motorcycle tears down the street, a faceless figure clad in black behind the handlebars. Crack. The gunshot rings out, and I flinch, pulling away on unsteady knees toward the wall for cover. Crack. Mario jerks, his shoulder snapping backward, his balance faltering as the rider speeds past, disappearing down the street. He's hit. Mario's hit. My breath comes in short, shallow bursts as I stand up and scramble forward, my legs trembling, blood dripping down my knees from where my skin met the asphalt. Mario stumbles as the van speeds toward us again. I don't think as I shove him out of the way and then slam against the wall and slide to the ground from the impact. A rush of air whips past me as the van swerves, nearly hitting us. The world slows, then speeds up all at once. The tires shriek against the asphalt as it peels away, disappearing around the corner as fast as it came. It's over. Are they gone? My hands tremble as I push myself up, my chest heaving, the adrenaline leaving a metallic taste on my tongue. My knees sting, but my gaze snaps to Mario, who's standing with his eyes narrowed on where the van and motorcycle disappeared as he sheathes his gun. Oh my God, your arm! It's bleeding, a deep, angry wound blossoming across his upper arm, staining his jacket. His face is set in stone as he presses a hand to it. I dig into my bag, my hands shaking, rummaging, searching. My fingers wrap around the bottle of pills, and I offer a couple to him. They're not much, but they might help with the pain. My voice wavers, my pulse wild. You should go to the hospital. Mario stares at me, then at the pills. For a second, I think he won't take them, but he snatches them from my hand and swallows them dry. A brief pause, a shift in the air. Now that I'm looking closely at him, Mario seems younger than I initially assumed. His black hair is damp with sweat, and his lips are slightly pale.
Thanks.
His rough and unused voice rips through the air, speaking the only word he's ever said to me. It's so unexpected that my lips twitch in a smile before I can stop them. Don't mention it. You saved me as well. He keeps staring, not saying anything. Do you need my help with going to the hospital? He says nothing, just types on his phone with one hand. Are we back to silence now? Got it. So much for worrying. I bend over and grab my books. When I straighten, Mario's staring at me through narrowed eyes.
You should be more worried about why professional killers shot at you.
Professional killers? Why?
That's what I'd like to know.
He squints more.
Who have you pissed off so much that they'd hire professional killers to eliminate you?
Aside from your boss? No one. My nails dig into the books. Isn't this one of his sick games? Mario says nothing. A few moments later, a car with tinted windows rolls to a halt beside us, and I jerk back, the remnants of the adrenaline buzzing in my blood. But then Mario opens the back door, his arm still dripping with blood, and tells me,
Get in.
No.
Please get in so I can drop you off and go get treated, Violet.
I can go home on my own.
Out of the question. Not when someone is out for your life. Jude would kill me if he knew I left you on the street after what just happened.
Pretty sure he'd do the same, though. So it'd be as if someone cut his expenses. I try to joke with the only dark humor I know, but Mario isn't laughing, and the driver is tapping his finger on the wheel impatiently. So I sigh and slide in. I don't want Mario to get in trouble because of me. I'm sure he'd rather be doing something better with his time than following a boring girl like me. And he needs to have his arm checked. I'm shaking the entire ride, though, because who would hire someone to kill me? I've gone out of my way not to offend anyone, aside from Jude. He must be the one behind this. There's no one who wants me to suffer more than him. My mind is still racing as I push the lasagna into the creaking oven. I really hope it doesn't break down. I'm scared that our current landlord will be like all the previous ones and not care about repairs. In the past, we had to fix things ourselves while being told, "You're lucky to find a cheap place so close to town." I pull out the 2 remaining cans of ginger ale from the case and frown as I set them down on the counter. Dahlia buys these for me because I once said I liked the taste. Ever since then, she's stopped buying her favorite soft drink, Dr. Pepper, so I buy it for her. But I forgot today because I can't stop thinking about the attack this afternoon and whether or not Mario is okay. He left as soon as he dropped me off, but I could tell he'd lost a lot of blood, judging by the mess on the car's carpet. Not that I should be worried about him, but he did save my life and got shot protecting me, so I can't pretend not to care. If anything, I feel guilty that he's hurt because of me, and I keep having flashbacks from all the times Mama called me a curse. As soon as I got home, I took a shower, dressed in a dark blue shirt that reaches my knees, and got busy with cooking so I wouldn't allow those thoughts to take over. But I find myself doing that anyway, overthinking, overanalyzing, blaming myself. I squat down to the last drawer beneath the counter that I use for extra storage. Rummaging through the worn-out tote bags and old, slightly chipped cups, I pull out a chocolate tin from when I was young. My fingers slide over its scratched exterior as I recall the day Mama gave it to me. It was for my 6th birthday and one of the few presents I ever received from her. I pull it open, the scrape of metal against metal loud in the silence. Inside, there are other things Mama gave me. A blue clip with ribbons that she bought me from a thrift shop because I kept looking at it. A cheap pair of sunglasses that one of her customers left behind. Pearls I unclasped from around her neck after she died because the people came and took everything, and I didn't want them to have the necklace. Mama always said her mama gave them to her, a family heirloom of sorts. My fingers wrap around the most prized possession she gave me, a gold bracelet. It's nothing much, just a slim gold chain with a flat rectangular plate in the center, about the size of a dog tag, but much thinner and sleeker. "Maybe it'll do you some good," she said, throwing it at me when she was coughing up blood right before her death. She'd been sick for a long time by then. Customers dwindled and she barely had anyone over. We had to move to a smaller place with no heating and black mold on the walls, and it made her coughing worse. Her hatred for me as well. Even weak and lifeless, even as I wiped her down, mimicking the stupid TV shows, thinking it would make her better, she said, "It's all your fault, you little whore. All my misfortune started when I became pregnant with you, and you sucked out all my good luck and opportunities. I was beautiful, so beautiful, the most beautiful. No one could resist me. No one." She laughed as tears streamed down her face. "Look what I've become because of you." "I'm sorry, Mama." I hugged her frail body, moisture staining my cheeks. "Please get well soon." "Stupid bitch." She shoved me away, sending me against the wall, crying and coughing and laughing. "You ruined my life, but I ruined yours too, so let's call it even. I hope you die in a shithole, all alone and miserable and ugly just like me." "Mama." I stood up and walked to her on unsteady feet. "I'll be good, so please. Can you love me?" She stared at me for a long beat before she let out a hollow laugh. "No one loves the reason for their demise, demon." When I woke up the following morning, it was silent. There was no coughing or shouting or slamming doors shut. And my mama was motionless, frothing at the mouth, her dead eyes staring at nothing. Overdose, they said. I was 10 years old, but I could tell it was because of the white stuff she sniffed on the regular.
She was already dying anyway.
The cops whispered to each other. "Poor girl," the neighbor who gave me food told her scum husband. "Savannah wasn't much, but she was Violet's only family. Now the girl will be abused in the system."
That slut shouldn't have had kids,
another neighbor said.
"Now her daughter will be the same. With a face like that, there's no doubt."
"Drug overdose. Tisk. That's what you get for sleeping with other women's men. Karma, I'm telling you. Poor girl, though. Poor girl.
Poor girl.
Poor goddamn girl." Another statistic. Another name. Another single mom tragedy, as they called it. No one asked me if I was okay after I lost my only family at 10 years old. No one stopped to wonder why I wasn't crying and was in complete shock for days, sneaking into our house and calling Mama's name, only to be greeted by silence. I wanted my Mama. I wanted the only person I had. Maybe it was Stockholm Syndrome. Maybe I was too attached to my abuser, but she was the only person who was forced by biology to be there for me. And the 10-year-old version of myself felt the world crumble around her. I read once that abuse can sometimes feel like love, and it stuck with me. That maybe that's what I felt toward my mother. Over 10 years later, I still revisit this box and wonder why Mama hated me so much. I tried my best at school, despite having little to no support, and got good grades. I learned to cook and clean early on to help her out, and I always stayed quiet because my voice annoyed her. I hid in the closet whenever she had customers over, because we had one room, and I disturbed them. The older I got and the weirder they looked at me, the more she demanded I stay out of sight. She often said she became a prostitute because of me. So is that why she hated me? Shouldn't she have given me up for adoption or something? Sure, I might have had a horrible life as well, or ended up in the broken system I was eventually shoved into, but at least I wouldn't have felt worthless because my mother and only family disliked me. I don't know why I'm thinking about this now or pulling out the box. Maybe because I was so rattled this afternoon, and that triggered the memory of another trauma. A deeper, bigger one I don't think I'll ever be able to face, or the way it shaped my life. I put the box back beneath the tote bags and stand up. The moment I do, I feel a presence behind me. My heart leaps into my throat as I attempt to turn around, but a gloved hand covers my mouth. The smell of leather and wood fills my senses, and my body tenses up. Jude. His deep and velvety voice whispers in my ear.
Shh, not a word.
12. Violet. It's Jude. Why is Jude inside my home? I mean, he was here before, considering the note and that he read my journal and messed with my stuff, but he's never stepped foot inside while I was here. It's that escalation again, isn't it? Like when Mario started to watch me 24/7, or when Jude came into the bar and started a fight, then forced me to go with him and made me watch the recording of his mom's murder. Before he murdered someone in front of me, I had to literally block that from my memory and shove it in with the skeletons in my closet so I wouldn't break down. After he left me alone, I thought he might have lost interest. Hoped so, even. But he's here. In the flesh. Of course he's here when I chose to go braless after the shower. And now I feel self-conscious. My body, which usually locks up when facing danger, is disturbingly pliant as he pulls me against him with the hand on my mouth and the other around my stomach. His large gloved hand flexes on my belly over the apron covering my shirt as my back presses against his rock-hard chest. He feels like a wall behind me, towering, impenetrable. I tilt my head slightly, catching a glimpse of his handsome face that, as usual, is set in a disapproving scowl. A sheen of darkness, an overload of violence. And it's all directed at me now, as if I've offended him in some way. I try to pull his hand away, but he tightens his grip. So I let my arm hang at my side, losing all will to fight. Not that I have that. Maybe he truly got bored, and he's now here to finish the job. I shouldn't feel relief about the possibility of death, but I'd rather face that than being the subject of Jude's suffocating fixation. He stares down at me with unhinged focus, as if he'll miss whatever he's reading on my face if I blink.
Who wants you dead, Violet?
I mumble against the glove and shake my head, but he doesn't remove his hand.
Who else did you do wrong with that innocent act and those hollow fucking smiles? But you can't die when I haven't allowed it yet. The only one who gets to cut your lifeline is me, your fucking god.
I'm trembling, my ass rubbing uncomfortably against his jeans. No, not uncomfortably. I feel weird whenever he looks at me with that intensity, as if he's stripping me naked and looking at my unsightly body. A chilling realization settles through me. The reason for my unease around Jude isn't only because of fear. It's the shards of something foreign beneath the fear.
So next time you're being shot at, you don't stand up and try to be a savior, you fucking hide. Do you hear me?
My eyes widen.
I've seen the footage from the security cameras and your feeble attempts at being a superhero.
He releases my mouth, then slides his hand down and wraps it around my throat. Not enough to choke, but it's firm enough to not allow me to move.
Too late for that, don't you think?
Not really, I whisper, my voice slightly low.
What?
Well, you might make me watch you torture and kill people if I let Mario die. You seem to think people are all courageous and can act when faced with danger, so superhero it is, I guess. Did my actions satisfy you? Or should I have been shot too, to prove the nobility of my sacrifice? His upper lip lifts, and I recoil, but that pushes me farther into his hard, warm body. I don't know what comes over me whenever this man is around, but I kind of just blurt out all my unfiltered thoughts.
You seem to have a death wish.
You already read my journal, so you know that's true.
Violet.
What? You blame me for not saving your mom, but still blame me when I turn around and save Mario? Will you ever be satisfied by anything I do? His gloved fingers tighten around my throat, still not choking, but a little constrictive. Then he turns me around in a blur of motion and shoves me back toward the counter, leaning dangerously close to me as the cool edge of it meets my lower back.
You need to learn when to shut that mouth.
I thought you said I need to learn how to defend myself, provide a better manual to avoid confusion. He pushes me farther until I'm sort of sitting, sort of slumping on the counter, my back up against the wall. My heart lurches in my throat when he steps between my legs and something hard pokes my belly. Did this guy get hard from manhandling me? That would be creepy as fuck if I weren't horrified by an entirely different thing. At his touch, warmth spreads through my belly and flows down. Oh God, what's happening? I don't really get turned on. I've always been told I'm dry, and if they don't use lube, I bleed. There's no way.
You seem to have mistaken the fact that I didn't kill you for tolerance. Wait, no.
He grabs the largest knife from the washed dishes and places it flat against my face.
You're provoking me to kill you, aren't you? End this nightmare on your behalf and take the step you've always cowered away from.
Not here. I don't want to traumatize Dahlia, please. The knife's cool side lifts, and then it's at my apron, cutting the strap at my neck, making it hang around my waist.
It's amazing how you think your dead body would traumatize her, but not your death.
He cuts the tie at my waist, and the apron falls to the floor. My t-shirt is bunched up now, reaching mid-thigh, and he's staring at them, my thighs, where the shirt stops. I grow hotter and warmer beneath his gaze, fighting the urge to fling my legs open. Jude reaches a hand to my bandaged knee, then stops. His unforgiving gaze slides up the length of me before meeting my gaze.
You don't really care about her, do you?
That's not true.
You know how to yell?
He pulls at the collar of my shirt and places the knife there.
Let's see if you also know how to scream.
A gasp rips out of me as he cuts the shirt right down the middle. Since I'm not wearing a bra, my round breasts bounce free, the tips hardening in an instant. It's not only because of the air. My palms, which are flat against the counter on either side of me, tremble, but I keep them there as I stare at an invisible point on the floor. It'll be over soon. They all finish up quickly and get it over with. If I remain completely still, it'll be over faster. Rough, gloved fingers slide from my throat to my jaw, gripping it tightly as merciless lips slam against mine. He bites my upper lip, then my lower one, sinking his teeth so deep, I think blood will gush out. I have no choice but to open as he thrusts his tongue inside. Jude kisses like he speaks, walks, talks, and plays hockey. With violence. Bright red, rough, and completely ruthless violence. He slurps on my tongue, biting down and nibbling, but he doesn't break the skin as he consumes my mouth, kissing me harsh and deep like I've never been kissed before. Like I never thought I'd ever be kissed. There's an unrefined edge to him, a darkness that seeps from his tongue that's devouring mine, or his unforgiving fingers at my jaw. I'm trapped between the edge of violence and desire, with no choice but to submit to his invasion while willing my body to remain disconnected. It's too late, though, because I'm already moaning in his mouth. In the beginning, I think it's a noise coming from outside, but I soon realize the shameless whimper is mine. Jude pulls his lips from my bruised ones, and I stare, entirely dazed, as he slides his thumb to the corner of my lip.
Seems you did that on purpose.
What?
I told you I'd kiss you if you looked away from me.
His gloved hand slides from my jaw to my throat, over my collarbone, then wraps tightly around my breast. I gasp, my nipples aching at the feel of his large palm on the tender flesh.
It's time for that something worse.
He puts the knife on the counter and grabs the can of ginger ale. I watch with held breath as he opens the can, the sound of the metal and the released fizz barely cutting through the buzz in my ears and the uncontrollable heat in my body. I'm mentally trying not to push my chest farther into his palm or rub my legs together or something equally ridiculous. Jude brings the can to his lips and I gulp, expecting him to put his mouth where I always do, right at the edge, licking the remnants of the drink. But he stops, his eyes on me as he holds the can in front of my face.
I want to try your favorite drink.
How do you know? Right. Professional stalker. A small twitch lifts the corner of his mouth and my lips part. It's the first time he's ever smiled, and he looks so beautiful and different. I kind of feel sad that maybe he hasn't had the chance to smile throughout his life. But too soon, his mouth sets in a line, and he releases my aching breast, then grips my jaw, his gloved thumb pulling on my lower lip.
This mouth truly doesn't know when to shut up. Open.
Why? The words are stuck in my throat when he pours the soft drink into my mouth. I swallow some, but he won't stop, liquid splashing everywhere, down my chin, my neck, on my chest, and even below. He empties the can on me until I'm soaked in ginger ale. I'm panting in my attempts to swallow as much as possible. How are you going to try it if you waste it like that?
You don't like the waste?
Of course not. My biggest pet peeve is those who waste stuff just because they can.
I better not be your pet peeve then.
He leans closer and licks my lower lip, then the upper one, sucking it into his mouth. I flinch, but it's not due to discomfort. No, it's something much worse. Because my skin tingles where he licks me, his tongue drawing out sensations I've never experienced before. It moves down to my chin. Wait, I didn't look away just now.
We're at the much worse part now, remember?
He sucks on a sensitive spot on my neck as he looks up at me, his eyes darkening to a frightening edge.
Besides, you don't like to waste, correct?
My back arches as his tongue glides down, licking every droplet of ginger ale off my skin, his mouth sucking and biting my neck and collarbone until a strangled noise escapes me. My thighs tremble, my lips parting as I feel something I've never experienced during sex. Animalistic need, the dark, wild type that I only read about in novels. And it's because of Jude? No, that can't be right.
I still can't form an opinion.
He grunts, his lips so close to my wet nipples, I shiver at the feel of his breath. But he doesn't touch me, and I refuse to thrust myself in his direction. A dark gleam flashes in his eyes.
About the drink, I mean.
You're messing with me, I say in a voice so hoarse I barely recognize it.
Am I?
His teeth sink into my nipple, and he tugs on the tip until I'm whimpering. As if that isn't enough, he twists my other nipple with his gloved fingers. I cry out, because it hurts. But it's also so strangely titillating. My thighs clench around his, chasing something I can't quite reach. But since my legs are spread so wide, I can't get any friction. Jude bites, twists, and pinches my nipple, and my thighs throb with every touch, my core tightening with something primal and ancient.
You're shaking.
He speaks against my nipple, his eyes meeting mine.
Sex with me isn't so disappointing after all.
He slides his tongue down, both hands pulling at my nipples, sending jolts of wild need through me with every twist. But I can't stop looking at him. At the confident and easy edge he touches me with as his tongue swipes over my belly and to my now-soaked panties. He pulls at the hem with his teeth, sliding the fabric against my throbbing clit. The moan that rips out of me is shaky and hoarse, as if I've never moaned before. Because I haven't, not even for show. If the men from my past weren't pleasing me, they knew it. Despite my people-pleasing habits, I'll never feign an orgasm for a man. I also rarely gave head. They could fuck me, but I wouldn't put in the effort if they weren't going to reciprocate. I'm not my mama in that regard. And they hated that about me. And because of their fragile egos, they made it known that I was the bad person in all of this. There was a running joke that I was like Sleeping Beauty, because I was like a lifeless doll in bed. I made no sound or expression. They must have seen it as weird, but for me, I was just questioning my life choices, really. However, right now, I can't help the noises that fill the kitchen, even when I sink my teeth into my lower lip, even when I try to not be affected. Jude lowers himself and slides my panties to the side.
There's still some ginger ale here.
He glides his hot, wet tongue over my slit, and I slam both of my palms on the wall on either side of me as my head drops back. Holy shit. He nibbles on my clit with his teeth, and I arch my back as my pussy throbs in his mouth. Damn. Goddamn. One gloved hand pinches my nipple as the other smacks the side of my ass cheek. Hard. Did he just spank me? Yes, he did, I think, as I all but thrust my pelvis into his mouth, chasing, searching, needing something.
You react well to pain. I like that.
He spanks me again, and I lurch, my hands turning clammy against the wall.
Your cunt is soaking my mouth. Interesting.
He licks my clit, then bites again, and this time I'm thrashing, wanting, no, needing more.
Looks like you can be a very good fucking girl, sweetheart.
My insides clench, a hot wave rushing over me at what he called me. A good fucking girl and sweetheart? From Jude? This must be a dream. But the way he touches me doesn't feel like a figment of my imagination. He devours me thoroughly, even more enthusiastically than he did my mouth. I've never met a man who was so passionate about eating pussy, let alone who did it so fucking well. I'm shamelessly shoving my core in his face, grinding against his mouth, but he grabs both my legs and lifts his mouth from my pussy.
No, that's not how it works.
My lips press together, suppressing a sound of protest, and he goes back to eating me out, thrusting into my opening with his tongue. This time, I can't urge him to do it faster or harder when he's holding my legs wide apart so that only his tongue and lips offer me any form of friction. Just when I think I'll die, he pulls me so hard against his tongue, I throw my head back and scream. I actually scream as the pleasure rips through my bones, riding his face, mumbling something unintelligible as I come the hardest I ever have. Not even my little vibrator has given me this, let alone a man. As I stare down at his dark eyes, I realize with horror that I just came on my stalker's tongue. The man who wants to kill me gave me pleasure I've never experienced before. Jude licks his lips, making me observe my own arousal glistening on his mouth as he says,
You only had disappointing sex before me, sweetheart.
All right. And that has been today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, join the membership, man. If you guys want to check out the Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday shows completely early, definitely get down there and join that. Join Tier 2 for all the behind-the-scenes content as well as all that. Audio listeners, appreciate you again for all of the support. Keep downloading the episodes, rating us 5 stars on your preferred platform, following us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribing on YouTube, following us on X and Facebook. And yeah, man, love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Peace.